So, welcome to Kosher Kitab, April 14, 2023. We are doing Lal Vaakh still. Let us get started. Who wants to go?
Why don't we go in order?
Okay, let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna
Then
call.
it's me. If it's not in order, then it's me first then.
Chalo, take sure. Yeah.
It's 1:45.
Perfect. Okay, let's go.
Let me share.
Sure. You can share, and we will follow what we have done earlier. We'll do one walk and move, and do a rotation, and then one walk each. That way, everybody gets a chance, and we'll rotate that way. I really want us to finish everything that we have put on that list today. So let's keep the focus, because we have been doing this for quite some time and we want to move to other books, and this is the longest we've taken to read a book. And we are not even giving up, because Raj Tarangani, we gave up. We're like, kaun padega? This is so good, but we have to get through it. We have to finish, so we can get to other places. And Rakesh ji is back from India, so he's ready for dawn. We don't want to miss his time window. So yeah, okay, let's go.
Okay, it's my
What was the
1:45.
145. You can go ahead, Vinita, if you have it in front of you.
Okay. I love you guys so much that I planned my entire trip. I'm in Hawaii, but I planned my entire trip around you guys today. I really planned my entire day around you guys today to sit here for this 1 hour.
I love you too.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. Send some pictures.
You ye karam kare, Petrun panas, Arzun barzun beyet kyut kyut, Anit lage pushrun swasmas, Ada yora gatse, Tora chum youth. Whatever actions I carry out, I'm liable to bear the fruit. To babbling to others will make no difference. The ultimate aim of life is to meet the Lord with a clean slate. Then wherever I go, I will be light in heart and I will be light in step. That is the exact meaning of the 4 lines. But what she is trying to tell, Lala is trying to tell, is that the rule of karma is an account of give and take. One has to bear the consequences of our actions in equal terms, whether it's good or bad. But nobody can escape its deliverance. Nobody can help us. It's our own karma. So since we believe in the cycles of birth, we might as well as we come with our own obligations of karma from our past life. So if we have been lucky to be given this life as a human, so that we can take, do good stuff and get rid of the bad karma of our past birth, so that our next life will be a better one. So if we do that, then maybe we will reach moksha, I guess. If all our negative points are done, then that means we have reached the ultimate goal. As a human being, that's what she says, that we have an advantage to have sufficient occasions to add something good and also repay for the past. But the things, when we fail to understand the truth of life and waste the valuable opportunity which we have been given as a human being, so why don't you try to do good and make your next life a better life? Lala says that the real purpose of life is to go back to the Lord with a clean slate without any past obligations or karma. So basically, I guess that means we reach Brahmaloka at that point. So that's it.
Cool. Let's go to the next person.
That's me.
Okay, go. 150.
Zal thamvun hutwa tur navun ordo gaman para tserit kaiti dini dwad sharmavun ante sakval kapat tserit. The first line, Zal thamvun, it means stopping the flow of water. Hutwa tur navun, cooling down a violent fierce fire. I think turun chuna asan, the thanda pani, turun point. Or the gaman parav swerit, walking up in the air towards sky. Kait dini dwad Sharmavan. Milking a wooden cow. Kaithi means wood. Dudhi might mean cow, apparently from the context. Like milking a wooden cow. Ainte sakwal kapat tserit. All this is result of fraud and deceit, and any charlatan can do it. It means charlatan basically a person who's falsely claiming to be like a person with supernatural powers and things like that. So I think
ढोंगी बाबा
यहाँ पे हाँ ढोंगी बाबा तो यहाँ पे आई थिंक उनके कहने का पॉइंट ये है कि ये सारी चीजें जो सुपर नेचुरल है nobody can stop the flow of water, nobody can cool down fire. So people who claim that they can do such things or like मतलब जादू वगैरह करके and people all those claims are false and we should not fall for them. We should just like keep our faith where we believe that like things are not supernatural and like not trust anyone like Dhongi Baba and yeah, things like that.
cool. Okay, Aarti is not here, so we can rotate to Amita.
Sure.
Number 163.
Yes.
163?
Yeah.
Yes. So it says, Shiv Shiv Karan Hamasgat Savrit, Ruzit Bevaras Dharkyo Rat, Lagiros Adhyay Yusman Karit, Tasnyat Prasan Sorgarna. So I don't know meaning of each and every word, but the collective meaning of this Vaakh is that you have to chant Shiva 24/7. And you have to do it like not consciously. It's just like we do puja every morning, every night. Not like that. But you have to. It has to be part of our life. Like even when we are doing other chores, we have to kind of unconsciously kind of chant Shiva in our brain, mind, whatever, dil mein, man mein, however you can do it. And only when you do it with that intensity, your guru, your Nath, that Shiva, will be happy with you, basically. So you have to make it as your like a second behavior, chanting it 24/7. Like you take breath, that's how you should be able to, kind of think about Shiva and chant his name or whatever you do. Like some people do mala. Even when they're doing other stuff, it should be like part of you, part of your life. Only then you can attain that ultimate goal or kya kehte hain usko. When you don't take birth again and again.
Moksha.
Moksha. Thank you. Moksha. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what Hamas Gat Savrit. I didn't understand that. Like, what the exact literal meaning of that one is. Hamas Gat Savrit, is it like
Hams Gat Savrit.
Hamas Gat Savrit?
Svarit.
Surit is like chanting, but Hamas Gat.
Shiv Shiv Karan Hamas Gat Svarit. मतलब सोहम
I think right on cue our Sanskrit expert sir is joined.
Well, we will need pointers to learn.
Maybe we need to look up the dictionary, but
I tried to look it up. I didn't find it. I tried to look it in that Sanskrit dictionary that he suggested, but I didn't find it there.
Hum is soham. When they say
Hamsa is Hans, I think.
Hams.
That's what this Hamsa is Hans.
Gat
The Sham Misri book is saying Hamsa is Hans.
Hans,
Meditating
Hans.
on the way of the swan. So Hamsa is swan.
Got it.
I'm not sure if it's true.
No, if it's written in that book, I think because that book that Meeraji has, yeah, it has verbatim, like it has dictionary type of, yeah.
So Ichwana Shiv Shiv Karan, constantly invoking the name of Shiva. Hamsa Gav Surit, meditating on the way of the swan. That's what it says. I'm not sure. Hamsa is Hans actually, no swan.
Hans is your own self.
Right.
In Indian tradition, Hans is supposed to be one which is not sullied by water. अगर उसके पीठ पे पानी डालोगे वो पानी नीचे जाता है. So Hans is our true self because it's not affected by karma, by your karmas. So your true self is pure. So Hans is a pratik or a symbol of purity, pure self.
Okay, it makes sense now.
And gut means like or matlab, like Hans? What is
I
gut?
think
Gut.
keep chanting like
Gat from gati. Gati means movement. Yeah, keep doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
And Surit go swar, right?
Suritgao, matlab become part of you. I think.
sorry, swar, like you chant, you keep saying it.
Acha.
And Ruzit Vyavhar, Vyavhar is like a Hindi Vyavhar, matlab in your behavior.
Make it your part of, yeah, it should be part of you, like, it your behavior, and only then can.
Yeah, then Kyora.
Yeah, day and night. And
like
you have to hold your mind and heart, only then your guru, your nath, Shivji will be prasanna with you.
Okay.
Or Gornath.
Advait. This is Advait. This is probably like Advait, something like that, right?
Advait is non-dualistic. वो लिखा है उसमें.
Non-dualistic. Like it was Advait used.
Like द्वितीय. हाँ.
Tas net prasan sur gorna. Okay.
चलो pick you. Next to Shruti. Akhat.
166.
Akhat.
What is it?
Shuhad.
Shit, something.
Akhat Shuhad.
Okay.
Another thing that is, part of the language. Anyway, carry on, sorry.
Okay. Timchin manush, timchi resh.
ये तो पढ़ा था हमने पहले. I remember this. Timchin manush, timchi resh. We did this before. Maybe you only did it or someone else did it.
I don't remember this.
Okay, let's do it.
Anybody?
Mine pick you and paro abdoi related. Lal dadwanan toichu mood last time. Last time onu muduchu. Achu temi on mut pay per
We probably didn't get it last time, so it's worth it.
Okay. I'll continue. Timchin manush, timchi resh. Yiman dih man nishgav. Badit the budit, byak kya rache. Futimitis banas pyai gyav.
Wow.
I did.
I think we have done this. I think we have done this, yeah.
First time, it was mine. I remember. That's why I
Okay,
remember.
let's quickly do it. Fatapat. हाँ बता.
Yeah. So I like the visualization in the last line. I think it's talking about repetition, practice, doing your kriya regularly, and good karmas, and it will build you into someone who can hold a lot of ghee in old age. In other words. So yeah, I think if we've done it before, we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, you can do the next of yours if you want to do 168.
Okay. 168. Kaili sat kol gatsan patali akaili zalmal varshan pyan mamas turkir te mas ki purely brahman trali yik vat kyan. So this is kind of a prophetic vaakh of Lalla's, in which she's sort of predicting that there will come a time when kind of the Brahmins, who are the upholders of the higher learning, they may forget or lose their way and kind of end up into ignorance. And she's giving examples of that, in which they're kind of abandoning their practices of reaching towards spirituality and kind of losing their way. That's what I see. Enjoying meat and liquor with everyone else. So, and yeah, I'm curious if she has a strong opinion about eating meat or not eating meat, but yeah, that's what this vaakh is.
It really depends who has written this, whether it's hers or whether it is not hers, or We don't
But
know.
I don't know if you remember, there was another one which was very similar, in which she looks at the, she's kind of thinking about the future, and she says there will be a time when, you know, women will be
Correct.
right, blues and all kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
Sounds similar vein.
Correct.
Yeah.
So caution, basically. Cautionary Vaakh. Okay. Anything else interesting in the description that you saw?
Why does she think that like this is going to happen? Is it because she's seeing what's around her, and based on that she's saying that this is how we will end up?
Because maybe because of the time that she was in, because that's when we kind of discussed this earlier, that because she came in when the Mughals and the Islam was on an uprise, and yeah, basically
Yeah,
the code.
I think it was in the times of like Kota Rani and maybe her predecessors, couple of her predecessors.
Yeah, 13th century around. What are you
I
saying?
think she had visions of the future. You know, remember she talks about seeing lots of things, right, in her state of awakened state. So she sometimes sees things into the future. At least the way she looks at it through her mind.
Chalo, pick you. I mean, at least it has kind of survived until the 21st century, so I think it's okay so far. So far, so good. Not all that bad. Okay, Meeraji, 170. 170.
कहना स्पेफे क्या छुई ना तुम. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
कहना स्पेफे क्या छुई ना तुम. Mati kehnat na तुम त्रा. Ot firit छुई तो तुई अचुन. Yohoi वचुन चतस था.
Nice.
So again वही जो मेरे साथ होता है हमेशा यही हुआ मेरे साथ.
क्या हुआ?
She gets.
मतलब मेरे साथ जो हमेशा होता है मेरे वो ऐसे वाक आते हैं. So yeah.
Speak directly to her.
Yeah, they speak directly to me. I mean, मैं सुमित को ऐसे ही बोल रही थी किसी का घर अच्छा है something, and then I read this one. I'm like, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? So anyways, so why make merry in this unstable life? ये इसका literal meaning है. Try gaining something away from this world. On your next sojourn too, you need to enter there as of now. Take care of this instruction and do not deviate. So इसका जो explanation है मुझे अच्छी लगी. Let me read it. So we understand, right, what she means by this. Laleshwari wants to awaken man to the real truth of this unstable life. Whatever we see or experience in this life has a sure end. There is no fun attaching ourselves to the instability of this world and make way for repentance in the end. The biggest tragedy of this life is that people take this instability for granted and go on living it as if it has to continue forever, as if the glamour of this life has no end. अरे वाह, ये क्या हो रहा है? मैं जो बोल रही हूँ वो दिखा जा रहा है. मेरे इतिहास में लिखे जा रहे हैं.
It's noting down in Hawaii. You should put Hawaii. Hawaii must be doing notes. Note down करा.
Purut already. मैं वहाँ चुवाइन परुन बे ये तवाई चुम लेकिन सुजन पता बाकी की metaphor.
मैं तो मेरे वचन इतिहास में तो नहीं पढ़े जाएंगे. Most of us go on repeating here endlessly births and deaths and suffer its pains without achieving its truest purpose. The human life is the rarest of rare opportunity provided to man with a special purpose of seeking freedom from the unending cycle of birth and death. So that's what it means. It's very straightforward, right?
Yeah. Chalo, next 173. Rajendra ji.
Anji. Okay. Gagan soy, butal soy, soychuk, din, pavant rat, arg, sandan, Posh Pon, Sui, Tuichuk Sori, the legs the kya. So she's saying, Gagan Sui, you're the heaven. Bhutal Sui, meaning you're also the underworld. Sui Chuk, Din, Pavan, the Rat. So you're the one who creates both day and night. Arg, I think Arg is rice. Sandun.
Arg is, I think, full. Arg is rice, okay. That's fine.
Sandan is sandalwood. Posh is flowers. Pon is water. So it's all these things that we offer to God. All of these things you are. Sui, Chuk, Sori, you're everything. What can I give you? So meaning she's saying here that you are you whom I'm offering all these things to. You're all these things, and you're heaven, you're earth. What can I really offer you that is not you yourself?
Correct.
So it's boiling down to things that you have heard in Bhagavad Gita, and actually even in there's a nice saying that I'd read of Somanandana. He says that Asmad Rupa Samavista Swatma Atma Nivarane Shiva Karoti Nijaya Satya Tata Muni. Meaning, I who am Shiva, I'm doing this, all these things that I'm offering are to Shiva. And the act of offering itself is Shiva, so everything is Shiva anyway. So it's really saying the same kind of, she's giving the essence of Kashmiri Shaivism in this.
And even she is Shiva, so she's giving it to herself.
Yeah, so she's giving it to herself, who is Shiva.
Yeah, so in the end, she says, usually these are the things that people offer to.
Right. What can I offer besides myself, who is also Shiva?
You are already all these things, yeah.
Right.
Even our Aarti has like a line, right? Tera tujhko arpan. It's like the same concept.
Right. Yeah. Exactly same concept, yes.
Okay, cool. Next, 177, Vishalji.
Okay. Okay. Oh wow. Yeah, this is the long one. I don't know why this has 6 lines.
Daban, see, we have decided this. जिसको जितना
मतलब marks are coming properly.
मतलब yemis ज़्यादा छु परनुक शौक तेमिश ज़्यादा मिलन.
ऐसा मत बोलो कि you should search this any individual Ivan. मेरा तो सब temptation वाला है. मैं वहीं ये start.
So check how I yes mas temi.
We expect 50% more from Vishalji always.
Correct.
Okay. Actually, yours mein Paramas, the first time I was assigned this, but
Oh, that's true. Lal Vaakh. Arey!
Lal Vaakh. You remember this is that Yaar Man ka. Yeah. Right. And I had mentioned this.
Look at this. Yeah. Go.
Shiv Garne. Vuchum Shiv the Shakti.
Akishay. Wow.
Shakti Vuchum Pet. Sahasraras. Maran Gayas Temi Graye. Bo Par Shivas Tasindis Garas. Bo Per Shivas Tasindis Garas. Bo Lal Maras Me Karyam Kya.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think she's just talking about Shiv and Shakti here. So they're, she's saying they're merged into one. Vuchum Shiv the Shakti Akishai. That means they're sort of merged into one. I don't know exactly what Shai means, but.
Shadow.
Shadow?
Shai. Do Shai Vicharas.
Yeah. If I had to guess, I would also guess shadow only. Shakti Vichumpet Sahasraras. Shakti was seated on the crown of Shiva's head. Maran Ges Temigrae. Usually to grai, grai marunga, I think just going around something.
Dance. So she's like, I'm happy because I saw them merging together. I saw their shadow as one. That's why I'm very happy and I'm dancing.
Yeah, Maran Gayas. Maran Gayas is simply I did. Grai, okay. Per Shivast Tasindis Garas. I think per just means like offering yourself.
Yeah, yourself.
Per lage, you know?
Per lage, exactly.
Per lage. So per Shivast Tasindis Garas. So I will, you know, I am sort of offering myself to Shiva and his home. I mean, his altar, in the meaning it says altar, so basically Shiva's home. Lal Vaakh mein karem kya?
Yeah.
I think this is more of a poetic line, like basically saying ki I'm dying for you, like I will die for you. Lal Vaakh mein karem kya?
There is a phrase one of my friends loves to use when they're so overjoyed with something that they got and they feel so lucky. They're like, I can die happy this moment. That's what she's saying.
That's exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
I would just suggest one modification to the translation of the third line.
Okay.
Because Shiva's head, it's one's own head. Sahasrar is in one's own head.
Correct.
And Shiva is the light. Shiva is really Prakash. Right? So, Shakti cannot be sitting on the head of Shiva.
Correct. Because Shakti is a Mooladharas means.
नहीं शक्ति इज वहां से ओके वो है ना मूलाधार नहीं ओके जो दिस होल कंसेप्शन ऑफ द चक्रास इज कि मूलाधार में यू कैन आल्सो लुक एट इट एज ब्रह्मा ग्रंथि कि ब्रह्मा वहां है बीच में है विष्णु और यहाँ पे है रुद्र और शिव लेकिन व्हेन यू लुक एट द 5 चक्रास उसमें डिफरेंट देवास हैं देवतास हैं
I see.
Shakti is the entire movement within your mind is Shakti. We are part of Shakti, and Shiva is the light which illuminates our mind. See, our Antahakaran is Shakti, and the light that falls on the Antahakaran, which is the inner instrument, is Shiva. So
Yeah.
Shiva, and when Shiva and Shakti meet together, which is when you have that intuitive epiphany, when you have that peak experience, that means that jo Shakti hai, that is seen as Vimarsh, meaning the understanding of that light within you. So in Kashmir Shaivism, Shakti is also visualized as Vimarsh. So Shiva is Prakash and Shakti is Vimarsh. So Shakti is not sitting anywhere. Shakti, the whole body is Shakti.
Yeah, I think what when I understood it when we read the Vaakh last time and we mentioned Sahasraras is like the topmost, which is not even like it's outside of your head but on top of your head. The chakra over that is when that lightens up when you have the epiphany or whatever, like when you are one with God, basically.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, see, they since you were mentioning Mooladhara chakra, the 5 chakras are corresponding to the 5 elements. सबसे नीचे Mooladhara is with Prithvi, फिर जो दूसरा वाला है which is with water, उसके ऊपर वाला है fire Tejas, उसके ऊपर heart वाला है with Anhat which is Sparsh और वायु और विशुद्धि चक्र is with Akash. फिर उसके ऊपर होता है आज्ञा चक्र और फिर सहस्रार. So these are 7 layers. And so this is that layer of the mind कि 5 जो मन होता है, there are 5 koshas. Annamaya kosha, which is the body, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, which is the mind, and Western understanding is generally only up to manomaya kosha because you only talk of the mind. But above the mind, or more subtle, are vijnanamaya kosha, which gives you an understanding or intuition, and then anandamaya kosha. और उसके ऊपर होती है आत्मा और शिव, and it's that light of Shiva which goes through these koshas and you see glimpses of it from time to time. But if you could see it in all its directness, that is life transforming. And my own take on moksha is that moksha is in this life, not necessarily after death. Moksha is in this life. When you free yourself of the chain of reactions into which we are bound, when you free yourself, that's when you become free.
So there's one Vaakh actually, which of Lal Vaakh, which is in one of these in this session, which talks exactly what you were saying right now about that you should achieve it right now, not when you die. That's when you should be achieving this.
Because the word karma, action, the chain of karma really means chain of reactions. We're always reacting to everybody else. We're not free. So that's our Pashu Avastha. So the moment you are free, that's when you become like Shiva in this life.
Yeah, and that brings us to my Vaakh, which is again very, which is 180, which is very kind of for me. And last time what I got also kind of prepared me for this week's, like my grandmother passed away, and my nanny, I was very close to her. But the Vaaks that we discussed were actually something that helped me in coping. So anyways, 180 kind of also reminded me of that, and also we were talking about like chakras, and they say that when you cremate the body, not they say, I saw it, that they say, my family said that the coccyx, the pelvic bone, stays intact after the cremation. And that is basically the Muladhara chakra is what I was actually reading about. That's how it came about, my topic on chakras. But anyway, so 180 is Karas andar rudum aitzit, Nyayas thavnam sopuirshai, Paike lobumna mai chas karit, Zayas na ayas logum nav. So Karas andar rudum aitzit, my Lord is stationed cool in my body. He created the world around, the cause of all his turmoil. Without alternative, I am sitting calm, watching this strange circumstance. How strange, on being born, I got a name not for my real self but for a perishable body. So yeah, in this, she actually, I just noted like in the descriptions that the book had, and it says that human life is the rarest of the rare prospect granted to man with the special purpose of seeking freedom from the pain of the unending birth and deaths and getting closer to the Lord. The occasion is especially rare as it is only man who has the capacity to approach the ultimate by getting rid of the karma, but it has to happen while in the human form, which is kind of like I always question, like why only human form? Why cannot be like in the soul domain? Like, why does it have to be a flesh domain to go through it? Does it really require the body of the human to go through, to transcend? But yeah, that is the Vaakh that I have. And I can actually, next one is actually a Pritika, 183. If you want to do that.
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
मेरी कश्मीरी शायद उतनी अच्छी नहीं आए, so I'm just warning you guys before I speak. Orte panay, yorte panay, panay panas chuna melan, pratham achyas na mule dane, suha mali chu ashchar zan. Though Lord is truly omnipresent and omniscient, but not easily accessible, the divine existence is greatly outstanding and compact, still approachable to a sincere devotee. It continues to remain an unsolved mystery, but always open to his ardent lovers. So I think like मेरे सारे वाक का similar दो का similar theme है that it is the purpose of humans to find the Lord, or the Lord is everywhere, like, but it's not the kind of the Lord chooses not to be easily visible, so it's not easy to find them. But only a truly devoted person who's on the path to find Lord can achieve that. And she also says that she's surprised ki even though this is the true purpose of like a person's life, a lot of people don't actually they live in reluctance and they're not choosing the truest purpose of their life.
Cool. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, very well explained. Okay, so let's rotate back to Vinita ji, 146 in Hawaii.
Het karit raz pherina, dit karit tripti naman, loob vena ziv marina, zivantai maritai suichui gyan. You feel bad ruling a kingdom, so give it away. Once you are free of worldly desires, you are free of this dilemma. It is desirable to be dead to the world, and it's desirable before you die. Absolute truth of life is to be away from its lure. So that's the meaning of all these lines.
Bol diya.
Basically, she is talking about lessons of detachment. Detachment does not suggest ignoring absolutely the concerns of the world. You can be part of the world and still be away from all this. It is being engaged in the affairs of the world, but getting away from its temptation. Lala says such a man who is away from the temptations of the world does not die a worldly death. He enjoys a sudden spiritual uplift which takes him far above the mundane. She is all admiration for such elevated people, saying that these people do not pamper or have any greed of the world. They live normal, regular lives like us, but they are so detached. They don't feel the greed or the lust, or they don't feel all those things which I feel like.
You actually don't, because it didn't consume you. You didn't skip the meat today, so I think it worked out.
Oh, thank you. Yes. I am somewhere. So that's what she's saying, that you can be a part of this world. You don't have to be like, that's what
you didn't give in the temptation, into the temptation. Yeah.
But don't worry, I'm looking around and I feel tempted every day.
That's good. But you're still making priorities. I think it's fine. I think you're doing amazing.
My temptation nahi hai, and then somebody sends a message on WhatsApp like Neeta Ambani gave her daughter-in-law 450 crores ka diamond. So what do you do with that? Temptation nahi hai. हम लोगों को बोला दाल बत्ता खाओ और फिर 450 crores.
My wife उसके सामने कितनी security है. She has to be surrounded by so many security guards to protect that diamond, right?
मुझे पुरानी हिंदी मूवीज याद आ रही थी actually. You know, वो हार है, वो हमको चुराना है. So that kind of movies.
पद क्या कर
देख, उसने पुराने जन्म में इतने अच्छे कर्म किए थे. That is what she is where she is now.
नहीं, उसका टेस्ट हो रहा है अभी. उसको डायमंड दे रहा है भगवान दपान की वन क्या करक साथ हेखयात लूब मंज नीरित नबर किन्ना दपान लाइक इट्स.
मुझे भी ऐसा टेस्ट मिलना चाहिए.
मुझे भी ऐसा टेस्ट चाहिए.
थोड़ा सा ही, नॉट अंबानी लेवल में, थोड़ा सा ही दे दो.
तयछु सारी वर आन गमे.
अच्छी मोड़. इसके से 150 करोड़.
मगर दोटे अगर ताने हम पढ़ रहे हैं कुछ असमु कुछ रेट वो थी परान मगर परान
बस एस्पेस लॉटरी यानी एम्पैथी थी खत्म गई किताब हम सारी आफ्टर लॉटरी सब क्या गया.
ओके अखत अकवंजा
wen to dem brund aktis akhत kunwanza kem sund na artoiji kem sund
अखत अर्तजी 148
कैसे मीनस अखत कुंतेजी अखत पंसा
वो हमने पिछले जन्म में किया है. वो हमने दूसरी किताब में किया है वो.
Okay.
Question valid.
Okay, tak manta.
So koro join later on. This is bya kitab paran. So
we had to go through we went through the new one and checked which ones which we had already done, so we got rid of those.
Okay, thank you. Akanta Akwanza. Avyast Sarye Pathinch Hum Maili Paran Yit Tot Paran Ram Panjaras Gita Paran T Hithai Laban Param Gita T Paran Chess. Gondich line she Avyast Sarye Pathinch Hum Maili Paran. Thoughtless people go on reading sacred scriptures endlessly. Yith tot paran Ram Panjaras. Like, a parrot. This is actually linked to one of the Vaaks we just talked about, like the third one in today's session, in which someone said that we should talk about, like we should pray, we should say Shiv with every breath, and not like consciously, but subconsciously. Because if someone's doing it consciously, like a parrot, such people read holy scriptures just to make a show of it and not for their personal awakening. Like it should not be a conscious effort, it should come to you subconsciously. And that is when it would be of your use and of others' use. But not tote ho.
तोते उड़ा दिए तुमने.
मैंने बहुत सिंपल था. एक्चुअली मैंने बहुत सिंपल तरीके से समझाया.
गीता परांते हिया क्या गो? हिया
हित लबान मतलब हित होता है ना बेनिफिट, किसी के हित में कुछ है, किसी के
गीता परांते हिता लबान. ओके,
परम लबान मतलब गेट करना.
या परान गीता तो परान छस. व्हाट डू यू मीन?
Param, I think it's Param.
Param गीता तो परान छस. ओके,
पढ़ी और पढ़ते ही रहे फिर
कुछ नहीं होने वाला. ओके, ऑसम. आई लाइक दिस. कूल. इचिचा खतर की बाग पारना सेंचुन की गसान अप्लाई जो करो शाशो चीज से खतर.
But if you think about it, she has her own like sort of poetry style, you know. It's not direct and it is not like poetry also. It is something different.
It's like Kashmir Shairi.
Yeah, she has her own style. Like she doesn't directly say it, but she kind of alludes to some of these things. You know, Gita Param, the Paranchas, but it actually means something else. Chalo, good. Who's next?
Next is 161 Aarti. Okay, Aarti is not here. 164 Amita.
Okay, so it says, Kandav gave theirs Kandav Vanvas, Vafal Manda Retif Vas, Dhanrat Danzarit Panun Shavas, Yuch Tutuke As. So it basically says some people are leaving their homes and some are, even though they're doing Vanvas, they're still leaving that because they're looking for peace. But none of that matters unless you change your way of life. Like as it said, you know, in my previous walk, she said you have to think about Shiva 24/7. That's what you have to do basically. You have to think about Shiva. You have to train your mind and your heart. And changing, well, it doesn't matter where you live. Changing your lifestyle is what matters. And you stay where you are.
So what does Kandev mean?
Kanda means some. Kanda. Some people, Geh means ghar. Tees means left. And Vanvas means some people left Vanvas in search for peace or moksha. But it's all useless till you have control over your breath and your mind and your heart. Then you're counting your breath, you know, day and night. But you, let me read the last line. Stay where you are, counting breaths day and night, but keep detached from the temptations of the world and body. So basically, you stay where you are, just change your thinking, just change your mind and lifestyle, and think about Shiva 24/7. Make it part of your lifestyle and your life, and like basically a habit.
Okay. Cool. 168.
She's saying you don't have to change. You just are what you are.
No, she's
There's
saying
no-
you don't have to go to Vanvas or change
Anywhere,
the
yeah.
location. It has to come. The change has to come.
You have to, from your heart and your mind. You have to control your mind basically.
Change must come from within. That is
Within,
what.
exactly.
It's exactly what it says. Okay. Akhat arhat. Okay.
Actually, it's kun whatever. 169. We did 168 also.
Okay. Akhat kun satat.
Kun Satat. Okay. So right off the theme of Amita ji's Vaakh is this one. Similar words also. Kandyav grah, Kandyav vanvas. Yuthui chukta tuthui as. Manas dar rat. Sapnak suvas. Kyah chui malun sur taisas. So same theme continues. Basically, she's talking about going for your internal transformation, not worrying about your external situation, whether you're in the house or whether you're in the, as a sannyasi or in the forest, doesn't matter. Focus your mind on. She says you'll find your real home inside of you, and there's no need to make an outwardly show of giving up all of these things. It's all about what happens inside. But yeah, I like the poetry across these.
It's good actually. Kyachi malum sur tai saas. What is saas actually? Sur is ash. I don't know what saas is.
Good one.
Maybe it is also some kind of...
Sanskrit says it's music.
Oh, something says it's music?
Sugo saaz. Sugo
Surtai
saaz.
saas.
Magar it's saas.
Malum.
Saas is 1000 yaar.
No,
Saas यहाँ पे I think means ash.
Sur chusa. Sur chasa.
Urgo ash.
Surgo ash.
Saas.
I think you're right.
Swaha, swas भी पहले आया था.
What does our dictionary say? The Sanskrit dictionary.
Saas go 1000 guys.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It must be 1,000 times putting ash on yourself.
Also, it is saas bhi kabhi bahu thi.
That came to mind, but
Software as service.
ये छ संस्कृतस में तो it's into kosher pattern Delhi Okay.
Kosher में कहाँ मिलता है उसमें there is no way you can find anything like that. मतलब just
हाँ from the kosher words correct yeah.
Difficult. अच्छा चलो ठीक है. It's just a small thing, but I think mostly it makes sense.
सूरते सास क्या छ malun क्या छुई malun सूरते सास मतलब 1000 times.
Yeah, I think it's simply saying that because this is a type of, when people become spiritual, they become Babaji, they would apply sur all over and leave. So she's saying like that's not necessary,
Yeah, that particular word we don't know what it is, but we get the gist. Yeah, we get the gist.
Some of these words I think are not in modern Kashmiri anymore. Like some of these words are gone. Maybe they had something back then.
And some of them might have been her own. I mean, some of the poets, they do create their own words, right? They improvise a little bit just to...
Yeah, and it has been passed on generations. Who knows how this thing was orally passed on? But what word was to begin with, and then it became something else.
Chalo.
It's like a game. There is a game like this that you whisper. I think it's called whisper only or something. You whisper in someone else's ear, and that guy whispers in somebody else's ear.
Chalo, askor pane sahi te peki bronkun.
Kyachi malun surt saas manchi, why rub the skin with ashes to make one's presence feel? So saas kahin breath to nahi hai. Saas.
हो सकता है.
क्या पता. Peki so bronkun wen chun yuta zaruri ki ashun exam ki akhat aksatat.
मेरे वाक में था कि पढ़ के अप्लाई भी करना है, सिर्फ पढ़ना नहीं है.
नहीं हमने सीख लिया वो क्या बोलना चाहता है. अप्लाई
करना है मगर
मैं अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ.
ऐश को अप्लाई नहीं करना है. क्या सुन रहा है तू?
सिर्फ ऐश करना.
सिर्फ ऐश नहीं करना है. गुड फन राजेंद्र जी, तेरी वाट लगा रहे हैं सब लोग।
मैं बोल नहीं रहा ना अभी।
अच्छा पे क्यों?
Okay. Rao mati halkhal taipitan vatam dish. Varun mate luke graha achitan shivchi krut the chain vapdish. So उल्टा ही है सब, उल्टा ही बोल रही है. So does the sun not enter all or only selected high up places? Does Varuna not have access to every place or only a few? This all can be, but not the goodwill of Supreme Shiva. So grasp the counsel and do not deviate, because the Lord is hard for access. So ये वनांची उल्टा बोल रहे हैं ना कि सूरज जो है हर चीज को रोशनी देता है, वो सूरज चूज नहीं करता है कि मुझे इसको रोशनी देनी है इसको. वरुण जो है लॉर्ड, मतलब पानी वाला गॉड जो है, वो हर जगह जाता है. इट डजंट चूज कि मुझे इसको पानी देना है इसको पानी नहीं देना है. सो वैसा ही भगवान है, वो हर जगह पहुंचता है. बट फिर मुझे लास्ट लाइन समझ नहीं आया कि वो शिव छु क्रूर चैन वक्तिश, तो मतलब व्हाट डज शी मीन बाय दैट? कि मतलब अगर भगवान इजीली एक्सेसिबल है तो शिव क्या चुक्रू?
What does sane mean?
I think sane had come in one of the earlier.
समझ ध्यान
मतलब see it's I think what it says is कि sun, the प्रकाश तो सब में आता है, पानी भी
प्रकाश सब में जाता है, वो चूज नहीं करता है,
मगर उसको हम ग्रास्प नहीं कर सकते हैं ना. वो भगवान की तरह, भगवान भी वैसा ही है.
So Shiv, why is Shiv hard to access? So the Lord does not discriminate between extraordinary and the ordinary. ये तो हमको समझ आ है ना. It's the meanest characteristic of human being to discriminate between people of different creed and caste, religion and faith, color and status, though Lord has created all of us as equal. So she adds that Shiva is hard to reach in spite of his omnipresence and omniscience. He prefers to be hidden to the view of ordinary human beings, busy with the temptations of the world. But once one is capable to receive his grace, he gets it in abundance, besides experiencing his presence in everything around.
Ashipane shadows में छतरी तल basically.
That's what she's saying.
She's saying the last line that basically Shiva is hard to find. Shivchi crude, मतलब Shiva is hard to find. So you have to stick to the counsel, मतलब you have to stick to the practice of whatever meditation or spirituality in order to find Shiv.
Basically वो बोल रहे वो discriminate नहीं करेगा, but you have to be very strict with yourself to get.
Yeah, you have to be strict with yourself.
वो discriminate नहीं करेंगे, वो किसी को ज्यादा या कम नहीं देंगे, but you have to really be strict, and that's what I understood.
But now the question is, how does it compare with the first few lines? You know, the metaphor of using sun and the god of water.
Discrimination नहीं है, discrimination नहीं है. मतलब अगर sun है जो हर चीज को रोशनी देता है, वैसे ही भगवान भी है. लॉर्ड शिवा इज द सेम.
वैसे भगवान नहीं है.
ना इचुन मना कि सुचुन भगवान तो पंच शिव ची क्रूट मींस वहां पहुंचना मुश्किल है. आई थिंक
हां, मतलब शिव को पहुंचना मुश्किल है.
शिव को पहुंचना मुश्किल. आई थिंक दैट्स
what she is saying is, Shiv, if you work hard enough, if you do your practice well enough, Shiva is as accessible as the sunlight and as accessible as Varun.
There will be no discrimination, but the thing is that you have to be very strict, and you have to know what your purpose is, basically.
Okay.
Teacher?
That's what it is.
I thought it was a contrast, because if you look at the English translation, it says this all can be, but not the goodwill of Supreme Shiva. So it is a contrast here. You know, that's why she says all that can be, that is happening, but that's not the same as what's happening with Shiva. With Shiva, it's different. So that's why it's not the first.
After listening and reading to all her works, it sounds like she like wants, or she says that to attain Shiva or moksha, you have to have a very disciplined life. You have to control your mind and heart.
Undoubtedly, that's the meaning of it.
No. The thing is basically what he's asking. What Vishal is saying is that it says ki there is a contrast. Yes, there is a contrast.
There's a contrast.
There is a contrast, but there is also similarity in a way that yes, it is he's available everywhere, but it's not as easy as it is to attain to receive sun and water. Even though, so there is a difference. Yes, there is a difference.
And there is difference. Similarity in the sense that all these are universal.
Correct.
The sun, the god of water, Shiva, they're all universal, but accessibility is different.
Correct.
Okay.
वही है कि मतलब डिसिप्लिन रहोगे तो इतना ही एक्सेसिबल होगा जैसे सन एंड वाटर है.
Correct.
But you have to be really disciplined to get there. I think that's what it means. क्योंकि उल्टा आप बोल रहे हैं ना.
हाँ.
But I think Vishal has got a good point there, though, that since our ability to be to stick to something is also dependent on Shiva, so it's only up to Shiva whether we achieve his knowledge, in the final run.
That's like the next level meaning of this.
Which is yourself.
Exactly.
Depends on you only. किसी पे नहीं डाल सकते हैं.
So Shiva is just playing a game, जिसके साथ हाइड करना है वो हाइड करेगा, जिसको he wants to let him see, he'll let him see.
You have to find yourself, basically. That's it, man. That's it. Akhat susatat.
Very good.
بہٕ چھَس پَنٕنۍ کٲشُر پرٛیکٹِس کران توٚتانۍ. أکیٛاہ شاشوت اَسہِ ییٚمِس میلنا بہٕ ییٚمہِ پَتہٕ اَسہِ چھُنہ دربٕدٔری کَرٕنۍ ییٚتہِ سارنٕے. أمِس پیٚیہِ مار چوب دِمَس پَتہٕ تٔتی. پٔکِو.
So 174, Shamyon?
174.
Uchan Chusbh Sersi Andar Uchum Razlan Sersi Mant Buzet Ruzet Uch Haras Garchi
Tasundui
Bukaslal.
Bukaslal.
Meaning
Okay.
Bukaslal, right? Uchan Chusbh Sersi Andar. I see you everywhere, right? Inside everything. Uchan Praslan Sersi Mans. I see you in everything. I see you inside me, inside everything. Buzet Ruzet Uch Haras. When I look inside me, there I to find you. The Garchui Tasundi Kuslan means even this house belongs to you. House meaning this body belongs to you. Then who am I, Lala?
Mm-hmm. Who's Lala?
Who's Lala? I think he's just this very poetic way of trying to say that I'm Shiva,
Yeah.
And everything is Shiva. I don't think there's need to go more deep into that.
Correct, yeah. Let's move on. Okay.
Yeah.
Akhat Arsatat.
178, is it mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Yosel Shel Pithas to Patas. Soy Shel Chai Prathivun Dish. Soy Shel Shubvinis Gratus. Shivchi Crude to Tsen Wapdish. So the last line is actually common with the other one.
Surishi Wapdish Asana.
Shale, I think, is stone. The Yosai Shale Pithas, the Patas. The stone that makes the peat is like Sharda peat and all this, that's temple. So Yosai Shale Pithas, the Patas. Patas is according to this road, according to the translation. So the stone that makes a temple also makes a road. Soy Shale Chai Prathivun Dish. So Dish is country or continent. So this, I guess it means soy shale, the same stone, chai.
It's the copper.
Pratibundish. It's probably different continents or countries. Soy shale, Shubhunis gratus. Grat is the I think grat is that thing you go chakki piecing and piecing, right? That grat. So
Just shole hun.
Sholeon. Soy shale, Shubhunis gratus. So grat, I think, used to be a big item back then. Like it was shubhun. It was a fancy item in the house, right? The same stone is in that fancy chakki. The Shivchi Krut Tsen Vapdesh. Shiv is hard to find. Just stick to the spirituality rules and you'll find.
I think जो
What
second
is the
line है,
connection
सोए
though?
शील छाय पृथ्वी देश, ये पृथ्वी मतलब पृथ्वी का देश ऐसे करके तो नहीं कहना चाह रहे?
Correct, Shad. Maybe that, yeah, of the world, right? Because it's
पृथ्वी
a
हुंद
world.
मतलब ये ऐसे जोड़ दिया बट हुंद या पृथ्वी हुंद देश.
Yeah, like a contraction.
ना मगर connection क्या अच्छो? First 3 lines and last line. Connection ही चलो.
That's what I was thinking too. So, I think it's basically the same kind of a theme that Shiva is everywhere, even in that stone.
Acha, yeah, okay, sounds good.
I think that's the connection.
The form and formless. I think, complex.
Correct. Sounds good, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Next.
Akhat Arhat. Arhat क्या आगा? ना Akhat Akhart.
Akhart, 61.
ना wrong. Akhat Akshit.
81.
What the English word Akhat practice?
यार तो डायरेक्शन करो ना चेंज, मैं तो फिक्री गलत. अच्छा. Again back to my grandmother. Swargas Phiris Bargas. Twargas Khasit Morium Tso. Andno Lobum me Tsoinis Vargas. Bukwas lal dad me kya nav. Mounted on my celestial horse in my extreme ecstasy, I toured each and every aspect of the heavens, found no end to my Lord's influences and expansions, such that my individual existence was reduced to nothing. I found myself nowhere existing, neither my name nor my form. So I kind of read the description, and here she basically has attained the enlightenment, and she says that like she's still in the body form, but she's so free that she doesn't need the body anymore, and that she can roam around on her imaginary horse and go around and enjoy the ecstasy, but it is her choice to be in the body or not. Once she becomes one with the Lord, that becomes a choice. So here it says, on reaching this stage, which is the awakened stage, there remains no significance of the body, and it depends on the will of the seeker whether to keep it for some time more or leave it forever. The individual soul becomes one with the Lord, which is the ultimate bliss and the freedom from the cycle of life and birth.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Because if you're saying, in a normal life, we tend to think of ourselves as our body or our mind. But once you've transcended that and see everything as just one, then it becomes meaningless, right? Whether you're in this body or not.
Yeah, and once you become awakened, it's your choice to leave it. Right. So when I think about my grandmother, she already knew she was going, because she'd sent stuff to me like as a souvenir. She's like, "Nyun blouse do it tha," matlab this. She sent it in November, and she had prepared all of us. And she knew she was prepared to leave basically. So I think once you become awakened, it's your choice when to leave and how to leave. So I think, again, like, this is very randomly assigned, but what you get is, which state of mind you're in, and it's turned out to be like this time also for me. Okay.
Sorry to hear about your grandmother.
Thanks.
When the year I got married, my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, that I was also very close to, because when I was a baby, I was with him for 2 years. My mother was in Ladakh. They were posted in Ladakh, my father and mother. So for the first 1.5 years, I was with my grandparents, maternal grandparents. So when my Nanaji, when he passed away, the same year I got married at the end of the year. But it was already fixed. So my mother actually had him do the safa. I was here in the US, so she had him do the safa for me, which we kept in a basket until it was ready. So when I came for my wedding, so it was only a month or so before that he passed away. So I wore the same safa that he had actually done, not with his own hands. Yeah, so that was quite a blessing. And we have kept it safe. I've kept it safe then. So it is still with me. So when it comes to my son, I'm hoping I can use the same safa.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, me too. They raised me first 4 years before the exodus in 1990. So I didn't know my parents. I knew them as my parents actually.
And the same thing, my grandfather. Because my parents actually visited during that time. They say during those first 2 years. And they would ask me, ki, Papu, Papu, and I would point to the photo on the wall saying, ki, kya? Because they had told me, ki, those are your parents. But they were in front of me, but I wouldn't recognize them because I was told, ki, the one on the wall are your parents.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember this, but this is the story.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure she got what she wanted, honestly. So I think it's just us back on the earth kind of struggling to cope, but she's pretty happy, I'm pretty sure about that. And coincidentally, she loved vanilla ice cream, and when I was grieving and I came back to work, there was vanilla ice cream served in the office. So it's a sign that she's just saying bye to me.
Enjoying vanilla.
Yeah. Okay. So Pritika 184 Akhat Sushit.
Orte pane, yorte pane, potwane rozi naja, pane gupt pane gyani, pane panas mud naja. The presence of the Lord is felt everywhere, hidden from the public view. He is permanently concerned about his creation and never fails to perform whenever needed by them. He is eternal because his existence is guaranteed perpetually. So it's similar to my old Vaakh. The Lord is everywhere, and humans, we're supposed to, our goal in life is to pursue the Lord. And here it also says that Laleshwari was highly awakened soul who had become one with Shiva. And that the awakened man or woman would want to become one with the God, as a drop of water becomes an ocean by getting merged with its vastness. Yeah, it's on the similar lines as before, so I don't want to repeat too much, but that's the only new part in this.
Yeah, that's
cool. I'd like to just a little bit on the verbal sort of meaning of this, which is the literal meaning of this. It has a nice little poetic thing in it, right? Or tipane, your tipane. Or your ka matlab here and there, right? So or tipane, your tipane. Potwane roizinazan. Potwan is basically the backside of a shop, literally.
Oh.
Right? So she's saying that you can say backstage almost, right? So Potwane Rosinaza, the Lord will never stay in the backstage. When you need him, he will come to the front and he will help, which is what the translation says, never fails to perform whenever needed by them. right? So he's saying by means of this metaphor that he's not in the backstage. He never stays in the backstage. When you need him, he'll come to the forefront and help you. Pane Gupt, the Pane Gyani. I think that's kind of explanatory. He's and knowledgeable at the same time. Pane smoothness na. It's like he's forever and he won't die.
Mood kya tha? Mood kya tha?
Death.
Death, acha.
Mood matlab is a
mood. Oh, acha, mood.
It's die. I mean, it's the word die. Mood. Sumud. He died.
Mood is basically a verb, right?
Mood is a verb for death.
Correct.
Yeah.
चलो, okay.
Yes, sir.
तो पोत मतलब पीछे होता है ना?
Poth is पीछे. So poth Van is actually shop, literally,
अच्छा.
in Kashmiri. So pothwane is probably a metaphor for backstage. Like the shop, yeah, backstage, you can say.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. 147. I say dry Hawaii dry.
147.
147 dry, yes. Okay, sorry. शाश्वत स्कोर खत्म. Okay. अखत अच्छा आरती छन 165.
Okay, this is a very straightforward one. Kus marit kas maran, mari kus te maran kas. You sa har trevet gar kare, ad su marit maran tas. So it basically says, if you are into your family, into yourself, and your friends are not thinking about Lord, then of course you're going through the circle of life and death throughout like eternity. So you basically have to forget about yourself and your family, and you have to think about Lord all the time.
Yep.
Only then you can attain moksha.
You go very fast. Actually, it went in like a. I have to read this again.
Went too fast.
So no, I'm just trying to understand why is she saying who will die, who will be killed? Why is she saying that?
It doesn't matter. Kusmaran. It's like you either die, somebody kills you. That's how people usually, circle of life, right? But if you attain moksha, you are not going through the circle of life again.
Okay.
So she's basically saying only when you think about Lord, only when you attain moksha, you will be out of that circle of life.
Yeah, okay.
Marna khatam ho jayega uske baad, you will be out of that. You will be in heavens.
Also, maybe it's also maybe referring to fear of death, like being concerned about death, that all will go away.
Could be that.
The third line is kind of key.
Basically, yeah. If you are into the worldly things, bacche hai, ye hai, wo hai, and you are focused on them and you're not focusing on Lord, then you will keep going through the circle of life.
Oh, this is such a nice, it's a nice line.
It's very nicely written actually, because what she's saying is that the person who has achieved Gyan, there's nothing like death anyway,
Yeah.
Because your pure consciousness is eternal, right?
Yeah.
It's only the person who's caught in this world where he keeps thinking of worldly thing, where he thinks of himself as a husband, wife, whatever, that he faces death. He's surely going to die, and he knows that,
Yeah.
So that's why Anyway, next.
Vinita ji says she lost her connection.
But फिर Lal Devi बोलती है कि you can do this while you are in this, while you're involved in this worldly affairs.
Yeah. She basically. She says that you do it, but don't be attached to it. You have a distance, basically.
Yeah.
Like now.
This is too bad. कुछ भी है unexpected.
दपन श्वास है दपन प्राणायाम कर. ये additional duties है. जुशुर्त बे प्राणायाम.
Or otherwise, just enjoy this life and death, circles. क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
आते रहो. I was reading actually to cope. I was reading Dr. Brian Weiss. He's a psychiatrist. His books. I had read Many Lives, Many Masters long time ago when my grandfather passed. So in that he mentions that one of his he's a psychiatrist, so he hypnotizes his patients basically. So one person he actually made her go back 86 times, like in Egyptian era. तो वो तब से मरते 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 फिर जवान उसको 86 टाइम्स रीबर्थ हुए अपेरेंटली. ओके, पक्यों ब्रोंकुन.
Next.
इंक्रीमेंटल इम्प्रूवमेंट्स होंगी वार.
Who's next?
I don't know. Shruti 169.
No, we did finished.
Okay, Meera 172.
अच्छा 172 ची कल पे भजन.
Okay, Bugas.
Bouncer is not a bouncer लज.
आज सुभाष जी होती है इनकार से बाउंसर कैसे बात.
हाँ, इसमें सुभाष जी कुछ मदद कर सकते हैं. अखरोट. गगन टैटू आई थिंक हमने पढ़ा है पहले भी. आई थिंक सो, मेरे को ऐसा कुछ लग रहा है.
That's line is similar, which we had in the other one.
गगन टैटू बूतल शिव यली ड्यूठुम रावस लिबिम न रोजान शाय. रावस लिबिम न रोजान शाय सिरिकी प्रभाव विस्मय जोनुम जलगाव थलस सुइक मिलित क्या. Chunai pormut shai. I experienced Supreme Shiva as the manifestation of cosmos and the sun finding no place to exist. With the impact of setting sun, I attained my purpose while the whole land became one with the water, showing a superb spectacle. मैं तोरे ने मतलब क्या फिक्री क्या छुन?
Tamiç mudas şu dapan beypar.
Mudas ज्ञानिश कफ no one.
As much as torn last time the fikri. Gagan pyat bhutal shiv. I experienced Supreme Shiva as the manifestation of cosmos and the sun finding no place to exist.
Zameen ke
the ground. Shiv yeli dutum. Dutum means to see.
Yeah.
Or to feel or to see actually. So Gagan pyat bhutal shiv yeli dutum. Ravas labum na rosen shy. I think Rav is sun. Labum, मतलब find. Na Rosen shy.
Rosen, I see it. Rosen
shy.
Rosen. I mean, Urdu पढ़ते कि Rosen.
अच्छा dialect वो
shy of refuge. Shy of Kashmir of shy of refuge, a place of refuge. Like
shy. ठीक छो.
Birth as much shy child. Ravam Rato. So shy a place of like a temple or a place of refuge. Rosen shy. Ravas labum na rosen shy.
What does Siri Yike?
Sirigo sun.
Siri Bhagwan. Siri Bhagwan chna bana.
Siri Bhagwan is Siri.
I realized sun's effect. Zalgaon thalas sit milis kya when there was water everywhere basically.
No,
the whole world.
No. She's saying when the sun sets, it feels like the water is part of the, like it becomes one thing. Water and the sky becomes one.
Yeah. At sunset.
Thalas thalgo na earth. Zalgaon thalas water and earth.
Suti milit kya.
Kunai matlab it.
All the elements merge together as far as she is concerned.
I realized.
Oh no, she is not saying sky at all actually.
Maybe what she means is within her. The Thal, the Zal. Thal is the body. Zal is the elements. Earth, water, fire, wind and आकाश. तो जल to thal means वो दोनों जो merge हुए because of that light that she saw. So I think she's talking about herself.
I think Subhashi, what you said makes me also think about the concept I've heard from some people that water represents Shakti or the feminine side of a person, sort of water, flowing water especially, but maybe water in general. And then Thal might be the still part of you, or the maybe the what we compare to a stone or Shiva. Maybe both are kind of just becoming one under the light of the sun or something. Like I get that visualization as well.
That sounds good. Yeah.
What is Vishmay? It says in the translation, it seems to say, seems to suggest that it means purpose.
It says Vishmaya is wonder.
Vismay. It could be from the Sanskrit Vismay, which means surprising, or chamatkar, जिसके बारे में
Wonder.
Wonder. Vismay means wonder.
Okay. Oh, wonder zonum. So I recognize that wonder.
Wonder.
Vismay Prabhav, Vishmay zonum. Okay. Yeah. Because she uses this Vishmay word.
And Kashmir Shaivism, which is what she was writing in simple language, is about chamatkar, is about wonder. The whole idea is pratibhignya, meaning recognition of the self. Recognition of Shiva within is a process of wonder.
Okay.
It happens suddenly,
Okay, makes sense.
So Subhashi, you said Jal is elements and Thal Karo?
Thal is a Prithvi element.
Okay.
Thal, Sanskrit Thal means.
Okay.
Thal is Prithvi, Zal is water, then Agni or Tejas is fire, then Vayu, and then finally Akash. So they are sort of interconnected.
Okay, I think we kind of got it. I'm not completely clear, but I kind of got it, and I think it's sufficient for this time for me.
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
175.
Okay. Shivche Zerbil Zal Vairuvit Krazan Mans Chui Tirit Kat Zinde Na Wuchan the other captive Merit Pan Mans Pan Kad Vitzerit Kat Shiv Chui Zerbil Zal Vairuvit means the Shiva is putting his
Sukshma, subtle. Zerbil means subtle or sukshma. Zal vyavarit, उसका जाल फैला हुआ है ना?
उसका जाल फैला हुआ है, हाँ.
Vyavarit.
Kazan means Shri, Tirit, Kat. Means he's in the frame of all these objects. So he has put all these objects, everything is caught in this into this net of Shiva that he set to wear. The Zindib Mavucham Adkat Merit. So how do you expect, if you don't see him while you're alive, how do you expect to see him when you're dead? So this is what we were talking about earlier, right? Panimans and Pan Kadvatse Rat Ket. Means unless you look within yourself, that's the only place to find him, I think. That's what she's saying. So again, I think bottom line, she is trying to say that this is the chance that you have in this awakened life while you're alive. Don't lose this chance to actually find your true nature. Don't wait till you die.
I think Kranz is like a skeleton, right? I think this word came earlier also in one of the other Vaaks. And we said somehow she uses this word to mean people, I think. Like it basically means skeleton, literally. But I think she uses it like people who are not very spiritual, that are like skeletons. But the net and the relation between the first and the second line, I didn't completely understand. So Shivchi Zergil Zal Varevit. Okay, so there is a net of fine net.
जैसे कि इंद्रजाल होता है, Indra's net. In fact, it's so amazing that you see this whole thing repeated everywhere, right? इंद्रजाल जिसको कहते हैं, Indra's net, Buddhists भी कहते हैं उसके बारे में.
Okay.
So it's the jal or the net of the internet of the world net. See?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, internet.
So Kranzan Manshui Tarit Kya?
So basically, no matter where in this net you're caught up with the Shiv, you can see his presence everywhere.
Okay.
That's what I understood of it.
Okay. The third line is, I think, relatively straightforward. And the fourth.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we go to the next one.
I actually didn't understand if Indrzal, Yelidzal, Vananshu, is it like the everyday thing? So when he says that the Lord has spread the net of himself, is it just being Zal as in a good way, like in a positive way that he's omnipresent, or Zal as in like
Zal of mystery. There is mystery. Yeah, हम सब में शिव है, लेकिन हम सब नहीं जानते हैं शिव को.
correct?
I think that's true. So I think what I understood from this was that we are all Krans, right? So we have to go through that fine net in order to understand Shiva, and that's you have to because Shiva's net is quite fine. If you have to go through it, then you have to really practice.
Kranzanmans go gaps, eh?
Krans, I think, means skeleton.
Acha, Kranzanmans chui.
And she refers to this as people in the other Vaakh also. This is
It's
basically
like living and non-living. Basically, he's present everywhere in living and non-living.
Okay.
Because Tarit word means, I think, through. It can on Taran. Tarit means through. So I think it's some relationship with the net. So you have to go through the net. Ranjan Mas Shui Tarit Kya.
So the author here, J.L. Bhatt, right? He says basically that this net has caught us all into its jalna, and we have to somehow escape it.
Maybe it is about escaping, not entering, but escaping out of it. Okay.
That's what he's saying in this. That's his interpretation of it.
Okay. I think these are difficult ones.
Yeah, these are difficult.
Okay, 179.
Obviously, she was also evolving while she was saying these, right? So initially she said simpler stuff, but later on she said bouncers, because she herself must have evolved during this process, right?
Correct. 179, Akhat Kunshit.
Who's doing that?
Oh, is it mine?
Yeah,
I think it's yours.
Dish Ayas Dash Dish Tilit Salit Sotum Shunya Ad Vav Shivai Dutum Shai Milit Sheht Tre Tropimus Shivai Drav. So Dishit Ayas Dash Dishit Tilit. Dish Ayas Dash Dishit Tilit. So Dash means 10. Dish means Disha. Tilit is, I don't know, I think it means going, maybe touring. So Dish Ayas Dash Dishit Tilit. Salit Sotum Shunya Adavav. So it's the reference to the Shunya. So Salit Sotum Shunya Adavav. Ada is almost like and, I think, in her writings. So she Vav is wind. So Shunya Adavav, Shunya and Vav. So to me, I went through it. Shivai Dutum Shai Milit. Dutum means to see. Shivai Dutum Shai Milit. Shai, I think, is again refuge. It's a place where you go for refuge. So, I mean, the translation of it is saying that I looked into my own inner self. No, I mean, I found Shiva. I think it's actually the previous line. And found Shiva everywhere. Shiva dutum shai shai mile. So everywhere there was Shiva. I found Shiva everywhere. I saw Shiva everywhere. She tutre. Tu is and. So she tutre. Trotimast Shivai drav.
Tropdutmas. Basically, tropdutmas.
Six. It's actually she, right? She is the number 6.
6 plus 3
is number 3. She 6 plus 3 or 6 and 3. Tropimus. The Shivai drav. Openings. Oh, there are 9 openings of the body. Is that true?
Yeah.
Or like 9, or like human body probably has 9.
मैंने सोचा था 8 था. 8 थे ना last time. एक कैसे ऐड हो गया?
So no, he talking here in this.
Acha, mouth also. Okay, correct. Yeah, it is. So I feel like basically the last time हमने किया था कि when you close all your senses to the external, all kinds of senses, then you will be able to attain or realize Shiva.
Yeah, because she's closing herself up, and even then there's only Shiva inside her or something, right?
Yeah. Cool. I think this is straightforward to me at least. Okay, 182 for me. 182 is मैं चुनी परमुत किया वाइन पारो बताई थी. Hi hung nad zan wazan. Gumbad wazan du dit. Swazan ishar suti bozan. Kyavzan bozan damam dit. Didn't understand one thing.
Me too, the third line is okay, right? Swazan is good people.
Swazan ishar suti bozan.
Ishar suti bozan. So just with a hint.
Within a hint they'll understand. Okay, so third line is covered. First, let's go to the first one. Hai hung dan nad zan wazan. The rustling sound of pine leaves and swinging cones. Oh, hang. Acha, hai hung nad zan wazan. Okay. Hai is something to do with pine leaves, I guess.
Nad is sound, right?
Nad is like pukarna kisi ko. Pukarna.
Correct.
Gumbad wazan du dit. Okay, let's read the English. The rustling sound of pine leaves and swinging cones in dense forests proclaim aloud His grace and call the devotees to realize the truth. Okay, the wise follow silently and work for their awakening, while the fools miss the opportunity and busy themselves in the worldly affairs. Okay. Kwazan bozan damam dit.
Kwazan is the opposite of Swazan.
So fools. So fools miss the opposite. Bozan damam dit. क्या पता है?
गुंबद होता है, इट्स लाइक मंदिर का जो टॉप रहता है ना. हाँ. इट्स लाइक वहां से हम लोग मॉर्निंग में पता है गाने चलते हैं. तो सजन है वो समझ जाते हैं, लेकिन जो नहीं होते हैं they listen to it, they focus on it instead of focusing on God. They're just listening to the sound of whatever गाने वाने जो भी बज रहे हैं.
Okay. Sound, yeah.
Yeah, the sound instead of actually focusing on Lord,
So it's kind of like first line goes with the third line, second line kind of goes with the fourth line.
Gumbad wazan du dit kya hai?
Call.
I think maybe vibration or like it's, I don't know. I उसमें context में ऐसा लगता है कि गुंबद
वुज़न चुना ऐसा वुज़न
चुना vibration.
Vibrate.
Yeah.
No, wuzun is a different word. Wuzun means like a spring water. You can wuzan chiya. Kinda panis hamko tines huri wuzan.
If
मतलब
you
उसके
if you
अंदर
shake
जाते थे.
somebody temshna, it means wuzna thoda. Like you
हाँ
know.
मगर ये wazan. I think this is a different word.
Vazan. Vazan.
Vazan है ना vibration.
It has to do with sound, I think. It can.
I think that's what I understood by this word. कि
Gumbad
vazan.
Vazan, so because it says it calls the devotees. So
Rustling
Gumbad
sound.
Vazan
I've heard this word a lot of times. Like शादी में जब तुम अपने बजाते हैं ना, मैंने उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बहुत बारी वजान वर्ड सुना है कि उसकी आवाज, उसकी वाइब्रेशंस वगैरह. तो that's what I heard from it.
So what is this dudu dit?
I think it's like a sound word for
onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. So he's saying for the person who's the good people who can see these, they can see even the sound of the leaves and all these things of the forest. They see the sound of Shiva, and all that. Whereas the fools just, they just totally miss.
Maybe the fools basically just enjoy that sound and like get into that, while the wise just follow it, so that in search of awakening, and the fools just get lost in the the music of it, I guess, like to enjoy it. Basically they are enjoying it with their senses, right? Chalo, course sahi hai. Pick your broken. 185. 185.
Pane auf Panes Sut, Pane Karun Panun Vichar. So the Lord came, created himself. Pane Karun Panun Vichar. I guess.
Vyatsar.
Vyatsar. Oh. Vyatsar is creation.
No, Vyatsar is just...
Vichar. Vyatsar.
Okay. So he, the Lord himself came and then created himself. And then Pane Panun Pan Nechnovun. Nechnovun मतलब popular करना होता है. Okay. So he popularized himself, and Pane Gupun.
That tone I think means to make, go round and round, not to
familiarize yourself with others, I think. Nechno.
I think familiarize is a good
word. Okay.
Pane Gupun.
Nesh, actually in modern Kashmiri there is a word Nesh. मतलब make popular. Basically, I read this M.K. Ranaji's thing where he talks about the Kashmiri language, and he says that Kashmir Kashmir Zaban national Varya poets.
Mm-hmm.
So is it Neshnev or is it Natsnavan?
No.
Neshnev is a word which means, I think, make popular.
Make popular and inspire in a way.
Yeah, make great or make popular. But that word was national. This is
national.
Slightly different, but I think it's the same thing. It is
just when I see this, I remember hearing Anamika ji talking about Nechapatri, which is kind of like your biodata in a way. So that's why I connected to what you were saying, both of you. I think familiarization, getting to know.
That's what I understood by this word. That it's basically you get to know the person, you make him popular or
familiarize with yourself. Yeah, thank you. Last line of this session, guys, is going to be read by Preetika. Pick you.
Pane Gupun Panun Pan. Like खुद को ही hide कर दिया, I guess. Remain out of view of the common man.
Okay, so he made himself popular and then he also went away.
Hide and seek.
So the Lord himself planned the creation of the universe and chose himself entering into each of his creations.
So I think Gupun is the opposite of Neshnav. Neshnav bringing forth and becoming popular, and Gupun is like Gupt in the, अपने आप को hide करके रखना. So this is the contrast here in the two lines.
So Preetika, there is like description at the second half of the book, right? Did you find anything interesting about this?
So, I mean, it goes in the same line as the last two Vaaks, that again, like the purpose, our purpose is to find Lord, and then
That is omnipresent, and we have to just find him. Basically, that's it.
yeah, but it's she also says that God works in strange ways because he's omnipresent, but he still chooses to hide himself
To be
from
elusive,
the,
yeah.
of the common people.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a cool Vaakh. I think, like, just from a poetry aspect, it's a cool Vaakh, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of peace.
Yeah, there's a lot of peace. And also, like, saying that he himself did this and then Lord himself did that also, so...
Yeah, and as you're saying, and all these three Vaaks of yours were similar, right?
Yeah.
So actually, if you go to page number, page number, magar to gets to the front page, the contents, table of contents. So that would be page 22. Yeah. This exact one. Kotiga.
Wait.
Keep going.
Oh, according to that.
तो यहाँ पे when you see notes में ना, it's actually certain sections of Vaaks are certain subjects, and actually when अब वो दब गया होगा, but I put in Kush Kitab group which Vaaks ranges each of these are.
Yeah. I saw that, yeah.
So we are still doing essential purpose of life. Ashwin Bay to
we have a long way to go.
Yeah. Choice Guru Sadhana Karin Pachu Om Karun Pranayam na Kundalini Unshun sorry Kormuti.
But we should go by pages because some of them might
some of them are less, yeah, but I'm just saying that concept wise.
More than halfway there. We are in essential purpose, that is up to 479 as time, which is almost the entire thing, right?
Yeah. So we are basically midway today. Chalo, Shruti raised her hand.
I missed that message of yours, Amrita. Can you bring it to the top of the chat or something? The one where you talk about
I'll do that. Personal.
I completely missed that one. Yeah.
Personal. I catch it. Okay, guys. I'm going to send randomly chosen Vaaks to everybody. Have a good night. Have a nice weekend.